Hello everybody and welcome to the 8th edition of Joshua's Coding Up. Today I'll be taking you through tuples. Tuples relate to lists, my previous video. So I do recommend that you watch my videos in a sequence so that you understand what the next video is going to be about. Just a kind reminder, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and please share this video to a family or friend so that I may extend the Python learning across. So this is what we're going to be going through in today's class. Tuples. So if you watched my previous class, you would know that I was talking about lists. So I'm going to be stating what is similar between a tuple and a list. Then I'll give an example of a tuple. I'll explain what a tuple actually is. And like I did for list functions, I'll also use a few tuple functions. Then I'll give you a quick briefing on what we are going to do in the next class. So let's start this by going to our Joshua Dominique file that we made in desktop. So what's the date today? Name this file, this folder, the date that you are watching this video. For me, it would be 5th of March. So you rename as 5th of March. 05 March 2023. Okay, so now we can open. Now let's make a file. New text document. So we'll name this file tuple.py. I say yes. Now we will right click and open this with Notepad. So I'll bring you this page. Okay. So first of all, let me state the differences between a tuple and a list. List. Now, can you remember how we write a list? List 1 equals square brackets. This is how you write a list. List 1 equals square brackets. Now, if we go and say what this is doing is basically I'm setting this variable of list1 to be a list with these square brackets, and I'm asking Python interpreter to tell me what data type is list1. So now let's go to command prompt and run this program. So we go to command prompt, cd. We will copy this URL address and we will paste it here. Okay, now we need to put Python tuple.py. It's classed as a list. So we know that this is a list. Now, how do you make a tuple? We know this is how you make a list. I'm going to show you how to make a tuple. Tuple 1 equals normal parentheses. This is basically a tuple. I can prove it to you. Tuple. Now, you must be wondering, Joshua, why are you writing list 1, tuple 1? Well, list and tuples are actually list by itself is actually a keyword, and tuple isn't a keyword, but TUPL, tuple, is a keyword. So it's better to get into the practice of using one, especially for keywords like this. Okay, now Now you know what a tuple is and the differences between a tuple and a list. There's no need for list. Okay, so we'll save this, and now if we run it, we will only get the output of a tuple because I deleted the list. Okay, so now let's go back. Okay, so now I've covered what the similarities between a tuple and a list and what a tuple is. Now I'll give you a few examples of a tuple and show you what cool things you can do with it. First of all, let me explain in depth what a tuple is. A tuple is a way to store information. Tuples are mainly used for numbers. They store integers. You don't normally use a tuple to hold strings. No, you don't. You use integers. Integers and sometimes floats for tuples. Now, for those who don't know what integers and floats are, let me give a quick demonstration. Integer is any number, 5, 6. Float is a decimal number, 3.7, 4.8. Those are all floats. So tuples mainly hold floats and integers. Now let me show you an example of a tuple. Okay. So this is a tuple. It holds a series of numbers. You want to print the tuple. So we print tuple. Let's see what happens. It would print everything in the tuple. See? Everything in the tuple. Tuple 1, tuple 1. So you get the output of everything in the tuple. Okay, so now you know how to print a tuple. Let me show you some things that you can use with a tuple. Tuples aren't really that famous to be holding data. Normally we use lists instead, but tuples are still good to know when somebody asks you. So now let's go. I want to show you a website. I showed you the same one for lists. Let's go. Wait a second. Sorry. Yeah, W3 Schools. It's a very, very good website. So I'm going to search up tuple methods. Now go to W3 School. Now there are not many methods, just actually two. But I'm going to show you how to use both of them. They're called count and they're called index. So if you go click here, W3 Schools have a full page on it and how to use it. And you can try it yourself with their own editor, Python editor. So in this, the dot count function, it says how many times 5 occurs in the tuple. So 5 occurs twice. So 2 is printed here. Then if we go back and we press index, the first basically if you watch my previous video on lists, you will know that each member of a list has an index number, same with the tuple. So in this case, it's running tuple is saying return me the index number of the first 8. You can see there are 2 8s, but the first 8. So 0, index numbers start from 0, so 1 is 0, 3 is 1, 7 is 2, 8 is 3. So 3, the index number of 3 is returned. So let's try these for ourselves. Okay, so we want to count how many times. Let's make it interesting. 7, 3, 4, 6, 1, 8, and 5. Okay, I want to see how many times 5 occurs in this string. Okay, let's just take a random variable of I. Tuple 1 dot count. Tuple 1 dot count 5. Oops. Print I. Now let's see. Let's go to command prompt and run our program. 2 times. So it's saying 5 occurs in my tuple twice. Now let's do the index number of 5. What is the index number of the first 5 in this tuple? Let's see. Let's run with command prompt. 7. Let's set it there right. So let's put a hash. Remember, hash is commenting. Whatever you put next to the hash, Python interpreter will ignore it. So the 2 has the index number 0, 7 has the index number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they are right. And then it goes on and on. Okay, now I just wanted to show you. So we checked that Python interpreter was right, which it always is. The number 5, the first number 5 in our tuple, the next number 5 holds a 10 index number, but our first number 5 in the tuple holds the index number of 7. But remember the first one because there are 2 5s in our whole tuple. Now I just want to quickly demonstrate what happens if we don't put this hash. This hash is very important. Indentation error, unexpected indent, meaning now see what happens. Still will not work. Syntax error, invalid syntax. So you need to put the hash so that this will not be seen. Python interpreter will ignore it. Now let's see if this program works. Yes, it does work. Show you clearer. Still works. So that's it on tuples. It's not a big topic, but I've explained it. We won't be using tuples much, but it's good to know. Okay, so now the last thing I'm going to do is brief on our next class. So our next class is going to be all on dictionaries. Dictionaries is also something that contains values. So very similar to lists and tuples. Out of the 3, dictionary is probably the second one that we use most commonly. We use lists most common, dictionary second, tuples last. But still remember tuples because they can get very important in the future. Dictionaries are equally exciting as lists, and they're much more functions than tuples. About the same amount of functions for dictionaries as for lists. I personally like dictionaries more than lists, as they contain more and they can do much more cool things with their values than lists. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please be on the lookout for my next video and much more. So catch you in the next class. Thank you for listening. Bye.